In 1977 and 1978, I was 6 years old and going to be 7 in February. And my dad always has told me that was the worst winter of his lifetime. I was too young to really care or know what kind of a difference that made in his life. We were dairy farming then, solely dairy farming, and he has told me that he woke up on the morning of January the 9th to 27 inches of snow, and he said it would, for 6 weeks, it would get down to 0 every night. Now, we live in on the southernmost tip of Ohio, so that is extremely rare. And when we were milking cows back then, there was no such thing as four-wheel drive trucks, and he had to drive the tractor back and forth to the barn or walk, and walking wasn't easy through deep snow. We weren't prepared for that kind of a snow, and then for it not to melt. So it was a huge problem, and the ice and the snow would just thaw enough through the day that it would kind of turn into ice and then refreeze at night, slide off the barn roofs, pile up. The cow manure would all freeze, and eventually it froze up until it was getting into the free stalls, and had to turn the cows out on the hill, and very difficult. For 6 weeks they couldn't clean the barn lot, and finally it thawed enough that they were able to do that, just enough that they could take the bulldozer, push it across the road into the adjoining hayfield and pile it up over there, just big ice chunks, and let it thaw. So we've had some pretty tough winters here. I can remember some really cold spells. I can remember here 26 below 0 a couple of different times, and it was pretty rough, but it didn't last all that long. I believe that we are going through one of those memory-making events this spring, especially in my industry. It has been the most challenging spring for me that we've ever had. We've been doing it for 20 years. I had a fellow here this morning that was 63 years old, and he says that he's never seen anything like this. It's just constant cold, kind of like we're a month behind. It's acted a whole lot more like March instead of April. So we've kind of fallen further and further behind on sales. The weather does look like it's going to break here this next week, really starting here Friday and Saturday. So it looks a whole lot better. The last frost threat is tomorrow night on our extended forecast, so that's a huge help. But we have spent this evening covering plants, sealing things up. We're supposed to get down to around 32 here in the morning, and I just thought I would kind of show you what we've got going on here. It's kind of like the ghosts of greenhouse past here. You can kind of see we've got row crop cover, and most of these things are hardy enough to withstand cold weather, but you know, rather than ruin the blooms on them, I thought we might as well throw this over. You're looking at a half hour's worth of work to hurting the looks of the plant. So we went ahead and threw some row crop cover over our stuff here to try to protect it tonight. So that is what we've been into. So we're going to hope for a much better day tomorrow. But I really believe this could be a spring that we talk about for 30 or 40, 50 years. So we're just going to batten down the hatches tonight, and then we'll see what happens in the morning. Thank the Lord we've got some sunny weather coming tomorrow, and right at 60 degrees. So we're going to do our best to get this stuff through it. We did a little extra trimming today. A lot of our stuff's getting big, you know. We're not getting a whole lot of sun. It's starting to stretch a bit. But we've been trimming, and if we can get a good day of sales, then that'll get enough sunlight in there till we can space and that kind of thing. So it's just been one of those years. So you kind of have to learn to adapt in this business, because it's something different every year, and it never seems like it's real easy. So I just kind of want to touch base with you guys. We're just getting ready to go in here this evening. Thank you guys for watching. We'll catch up with you on the next video.